Hello everyone. Welcome back to English video class. I am Professor Venkataramu BR and I am really excited to guide you through a very meaningful and thought-provoking poem for the Dispossessed by S.Joseph. This poem is not just about nature or real life. It's a powerful voice for the poor, the voiceless, and those who are being pushed aside in the name of modern development and globalization. It is a simple poem with a strong message. In this video session, here is what I will be presenting: brainstorming questions to activate your thoughts and get you thinking deeply about the poem. A clear and simple explanation about the poet S. Joseph, his life, background, and what makes his poetry unique. A structured introduction about the poem for the dispossessed, including its message, tone, and themes. And finally, a line by line explanation of the full poem with meanings of difficulty words, phrases, poetic devices, and a critical analysis in a style that is easy to understand. So, make sure to stay till the end of the video. Whether you are a student preparing for your exams or a teacher looking for classroom support, this session will surely help you understand the poem in a deep and meaningful way. Brainstorm questions. The first one is: what do you think happens when forests, fields, and old homes are destroyed to build cities, malls, or factories? And the second question is: why do you think small jobs like weaving baskets, growing vegetables, or running tea shops are important in a village? And finally, do animals and birds also have the right to live safely in nature, just like humans? Why or why not? Dear students, let us begin by knowing the poet who wrote this poem. Let me take you through his life and work in a step by step way. About the poet S. Joseph. To begin with, S. Joseph is an important modern Indian poet who writes in the Malayalam language. He was born in 1965 in a small village called Pattitanam in Kottayam district, Kerala. Moreover, he is considered a strong voice among Dalit poets, and he mainly writes about the struggles of poor and marginalized people. Currently, he works as a lecturer in Malayalam at Brennan College, Thalassery, a well-known college in Kerala. Earlier, he also worked at the famous Maharaja's College, Ernakulam, as a lecturer. Over the years, he published four popular collections of poems in Malayalam. In fact, his second and third books were shortlisted among the best Malayalam books of the year in well-known literary magazines. His recent book titled Uppante Koval Varakkunnu won the Thiruvananthapuram Book Fair Award in 2009, and it was selected as one of the top 10 books of the year. In recognition of his talent, the Kerala Sahitya Academy honored him with the Kanakashri Award. Furthermore, Joseph often writes about village life using images like paddy fields, coconut trees, and peaceful surroundings. However, he also shows that beneath this peaceful village life, there is also injustice, violence, and broken dreams that many people face. Lastly, even though his poems may look simple at first, they actually carry deep meanings and hidden messages for those who read carefully. Now, students, let us try to understand what this poem is about. I will explain it to you point by point to make it easier to follow. About the poem For the Dispossessed. First of all, For the Dispossessed is originally written in Malayalam and its title was Idam. It has been translated into English by Dr. Minnie John, who is a reader in the Department of English at Alfonso College, Pala, Kerala. The poem is a strong warning against the negative effects of globalization, especially how it affects villages and the poor. Through this poem, S.Joseph gives a voice to the common man, a farmer, a tea shop owner, a singer, a beaver who wants to protect their land, home, and nature. More importantly, the poet expresses his deep concern about the balance between nature and material development. His tone in the poem is not soft, it is firm and almost like warning. It tells us what will happen if we destroy our environment in the name of progress. The poet especially requests those who support globalization not to ruin the natural beauty and identity of the countryside. In other words, this poem shows a simple villager's wish to keep his world safe from destruction. To support his idea, the poet gives many strong examples from birds, worms, and trees to people doing small jobs like making ladles or weaving baskets. In conclusion, this poem is both a plea and a protest. It asks us to protect the beauty of nature, the traditions of the village life, and the lives of poor people. Let us begin our journey into the world of S. Joseph and his heartfelt poem for the dispossessed. The first stanza, the first line is, don't snatch away the tree holes from the wiggling worm. Let me explain this to you, dear students. The poet says, don't snatch away, which means don't forcibly take away or remove. A wiggling worm is a small, helpless creature that twists and moves its body to live inside tree holes. So, in simple words, the poet is asking us not to destroy the tiny homes of the worms, those little hollows in trees. These are not just holes, they are homes to tiny lives. Let us move on to the next line. And the peace of the sky from the bird in the hollow. Here, the hollow again means nest or the small space in the tree where the bird lives. The piece of the sky refers to the little portion of the open sky that a bird sees from its nest. In these lines, the poet urges us not to disturb even the smallest creatures. He is saying that every living being, no matter how small, has a right to its home and sky. They may seem tiny and unimportant to us, but for them, it is their entire world. This shows the poet's deep respect for nature and every form of life. He wants us to understand the pain of displacement, even from the perspective of birds and worms, is a gentle protest against environmental destruction. Let's move on to the second stanza. It reads as, don't take off the faraways from the stoling wind. In this line, the faraways are distant lands or open spaces. The stoling wind means the wind that was walking slowly or gently like a wanderer. So, the poet is saying, don't remove the far off places where the free wind roams. In the next line, and the far off mother rose on the canal bank beyond the smelly lime kiln. A mother house means the old family home, probably where ancestors lived. It is located near a canal and beyond a lime kiln where limestone is burned, which gives off a bad smell. In this stanza, the poet tells us not to destroy natural elements and ancestral homes. These are deeply connected to people's emotions and memories. The poet beautifully connects nature with the tradition. He reminds us that modernization should not come at the cost of roots, memories, and the open air. Let's move to the third stanza. Here it reads: each of the house is a village indeed. Please don't rob us of it. The poet says each home is like a old village full of memories, people, culture, and warmth. Use the word us to make it personal. It's a request, almost a cry, not to steal away their world. In the next line, the poet says, kindly spare the waterfowl's fields, replete with weeds and grains. Waterfowls are the birds that live near the water. Their fields are replete, which means full of weeds, wild plants, and grains. Here, the poet asks us not to destroy places where birds and people live and survive. These might seem like wild, unused lands to outsiders, but they are full of life. The poet pleads to save not just homes but habitats. It's about respecting both human and non human lives. Let us move to the fourth stanza. Please don't take away the small tea shop at the meeting of the roads. A small tea shop at the road junction is more than just a stall. It is a meeting place, a part of rural life and culture. In the next line, he says, the stone hedge made of round stone rose, overgrown with chorianum or panachi. Stone hedge is a small stone wall and it is overgrown. That means covered with local plants like chorianum and panachi, wild creepers found in Kerala. In the next line, he again says, where green tree snakes camouflage. Camouflage means blending in with surroundings. Green snakes hide here for safety. The poet in this stanza shows how every small detail, a tea stall, a stone fence, and even wild creepers form part of a beautiful ecosystem. The poet shows that even the simplest ordinary plays are rich with life and meaning. Destroying them means destroying entire lives, seen and unseen. Let us move to fifth stanza. It reads as, please do leave alone Papan Chettan with his Vadakkan Pattu. Papan Chettan is a local man and Vadakkan Pattu are traditional songs of Kerala or folk songs of Kerala. He is a symbol of living folklore. In the next line, the poet says, making ladles or repairing umbrellas. These are his traditional skills. Ladles are large spoons, and he also fixes umbrellas. The poet asks us Let local artisans continue their livelihood and preserve their traditions. It is not just about saving a person, it is about protecting cultural identity, respect for self employment, and local wisdom. Let us move on to sixth stanza. The folks driving auto rickshaws are growing bitter gods and snake gods. These are ordinary people doing ordinary jobs, drivers, farmers. The vegetables mentioned are local produce. The poet speaks for the working class and farmers. He says that their lives too are important and they should not be pushed out. Here, the poet warns us about capitalism, that it's taking over and leaving no place for common people. It is a strong voice for economic justice. Let's move on to seventh stanza. Don't lay your hands on the women weaving baskets and mats. Lay your hands on is an idiom meaning to touch or interfere with something, usually with harm. Next line. Those working in companies making colored rubber bands or crushing rocks for road metal. These are people in small factories are doing hard work. Their work may seem unimportant, but it is their means of survival. The poet says, let them work, let them live. Their small jobs are big hopes for their families. He presents the contrast between hard-working locals and heartless development. Their jobs are not low, they are meaningful. Let us come to eighth stanza. Ilangi and Payani, Vatta and Thanni. These are regional trees and plants in Kerala, often with medicinal or environmental value. Cashew trees and touch me nots, not in the winds, don't touch any. Not in winds. Personification showing trees dancing in the breeze. Touch me nots, shape plants that close when touched. The poet says, even plants have life. The poet tells us, let nature thrive in peace. Nature is shown as living, breathing, responding. The plea is emotional yet thoughtful, a call to protect biodiversity. Let us move on to ninth stanza. Let the sickly Joes, paralyzed by the pullu, as the story goes, live in the company of birds or clouds. Jos is a man believed to be paralyzed by a local belief called pullu, possibly a focus. The poet wants him to live peacefully in nature. Next line. Let the country brokers walk about. Here, country brokers may refer to local agents or officials. It has slightly sarcastic tone. The poet allows even them to roam. Here he means even the weak, the cursed, and even the corrupt. Everyone has a space in this world. Don't destroy the balance. The poet uses irony and sympathy. It shows his inclusive attitudes. Nature must be for all. Let us move on to the 10th stanza. Things have come to such a pass that we have no rhyme, nor any work. Only the blinding sun scowls
overhead.
Things have come to such a pass is an idiom, meaning the situation has become very bad. Blinding sun scowls. The hot sun seems angry and painful. This is personification again. There is no rain, no work, only harsh sun. This shows suffering and destruction caused by imbalance in nature. The final lines are a clear warning. The poet is saying, if we don't stop harming nature, it will hit back. God, poverty, and despair will follow. So, dear students, throughout the poem, the poet pleads with us not just to save trees, fields, and tea shops, but to respect life in all forms: animals, plants, workers, traditions, and the environment. Each stanza is a cry for balance and justice. The poet uses simple yet powerful language to show that every worm, every plant, and every human being deserves space to live. Let us remember, development is good, but not at the cost of nature and the poor. So, dear students, For the Dispossessed is more than just a poem. It's a powerful message to the modern world. It tells us to think about the people who are left behind while the world rushes forward in the name of development. It also tells us to respect every small life: bird, worm, tree, and farmer. Let us remember, true progress should include everyone and protect everyone. Friends, that's all in this session. I hope you enjoyed this session. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to English Audio Class for more such informative videos on English literature, grammar, and communication. Thank you very much for watching this video till now. Bye. See you in the next video.